Hello. I'm excited to be in the studio once again. It's another episode of Victor and Not Victim podcast. Okay, so surprise with me in the studio today is, I call her Mama GenoAware. I'm interested in knowing the origin of that name though. GenoAware is so unique a name. So I have with me Oluwatimileyin Olayiwola. She's the founder of GenoAware on Sickle Cell advocacy and education too. So I'll be interviewing her in the studio today. Stay with me.
If reaching out to the world with your talent, passion, and brand through podcasts is your greatest desire, then the Anchor app is for you. It's easy to navigate and a series of interludes to make your program interesting and enticing makes all the difference for me. So, experience a good published podcast with Anchor.
So good to see you, and thank you for taking time to join me in the studio recording. So can we meet Miss Olayiwola Oluwatimileyin? Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes. There's nothing much. I'm just working to boost my credentials.
Whatever that means.
So yeah. Well, just so that at least I know a lot of sickle cell advocates that have so many things to say about themselves and all of that. But we are just starting.
Okay.
Hopefully God will take us there.
Okay, so okay.
I'm a sickle cell warrior and advocate.
Okay.
With the genotype HPSS.
Okay.
I'm the founder of GenoAware International.
Mama GenoAware.
So it is an NGO actually. Yet we want to create a platform where every warrior can come and talk to other warriors. You know that sickle cell disease is something that sometimes you feel alone.
Okay.
You feel like, oh, this is overwhelming. Is it just me and the likes? So we just want to create a platform where people can come and talk to people. You definitely have a lot of people that have been through whatever stage it is that you are at the moment. So we want to create that platform where you can come and say, oh, I'm feeling like this is the end of the road. I'm feeling like I'm in pain. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to go about this. And then somebody somewhere can reach out to you and say, oh, you're not alone. I've been through this stage before, and this was what I did. This was how I got through it. That is what GenoAware International is all about. And then we want to create our disease, because obviously disease cannot be overemphasized. We keep despite the amount of awareness that advocates are out there trying to create, we still see a lot of people that are ignorant of the fact that sickle cell disease is real. We still see a lot of people that say that, oh, they have faith, or I have faith. I know that I'm AS and my spouse is AS, but I have faith that when we pray, we would not have children with sickle cell disease.
I don't even like
hearing that. It is funny how we still see people like that. I've seen a lot of people like that, and I still feel like, is it that we are not taking advocacy as much as we should, or is it that we are not teaching them as much as we should, or is it that they just decide all of that stress despite the whole thing? So that is what GenoAware is all about, actually. We just want you to be genetically aware. Basically, we just want you to know that genetic compatibility is the only way, the easiest way actually to prevent birthing sickle cell warriors. That way you don't have to deal with, or you don't have to bother about what's it called, about other genetic means. We know that there are informed decisions that you can make not to birth sickle cell warriors, like prenatal diagnostics and the likes. But then all these things are expensive. Do you have what it takes? Do you have the emotional stability to go through with all of this? Do you have the financial upkeep to go through with all of this? So we are here to just let people know that it is easier genetically compatible with your partner. So basically that's what GenoAware is all about. And then personally, I'm still working on probably being a genetic counselor.
That's
a whole
so
lot
good.
of things to consider. But for now, that's basically that's basically me. And I'm an entrepreneur. I run an online luxury store.
That's so good to meet you. Okay, so kindly share your sickle cell journey with us. I'm usually interested in the diagnosis part majorly, like amidst other things. At what age were you diagnosed to have diabetes? I work on a diabetes project, to have sickle cell disorder, because I didn't know until the age of 17. I practically lived 17 years not being aware. So I want to know, at what age were you diagnosed, and what has it been since you got to know? What was growing up like generally for you with sickle cell?
Well, I was not diagnosed early. Growing up, I used to be like very, very healthy. I wasn't always sick. So I attended a science secondary school. So when you want to gain admission into that school, Oluwatimileyin School of Science precisely, they would ask you for your medical records. And so they said they wanted it at the government. And so I went with my mom then to Adeoyo. I remember, for someone that wasn't always sick, we ran the test. I think I was about 13 or something, probably 13 or 12, I can't remember.
Okay.
So we went to Adeoyo, and then they ran the test, and then the result was out, and I was what sort of result is this?
I can imagine.
You know how it is, like, no, be more SS. No, my child is not SS. My mom caused a drama at that hospital.
Tell me about it.
She was like, no. What is this? If not because the school said they want it from a government hospital. This is why I don't like government hospitals. This, that. My mom was angry. And then the matron was like, there cannot be a mistake in this, but let me run it myself just to be sure.
Wow.
And then she took another blood sample and went personally to run the test herself. And she still came back with the same result. My mom was still like, no, this is still not my daughter's result. Then my mom said, let's go to a private laboratory and see what they have to say. So went to a private laboratory, and then those ones gave us HbAA. And my mom was like,
I said the confusion everywhere.
Mom was like, those people were wrong. I said it. My child can never be SS. What is this? What sort of result? Let's go back to that Adeoyo and tell them that this result that they gave us was fake. This is the original one. That day, because they just kept pricking me all over. And so we went back there, and the matron was like, no, that she's certain that there's a mix-up somewhere. She still ran the test again. Another blood sample from me. She still ran the test again, and it was still SS. Then the matron advised my mom to go back to that laboratory. It was a private laboratory.
Okay.
She told us to go back there and tell them to conduct it again. So getting there, the MD of the laboratory was like, I saw this woman and her daughter before. What happened? Why are you people back? Then we explained to her, and the MD was like, I would run this test personally. I'll run it myself and see what happens. Then the MD came out with 8 PSA. At that point, my mom was like, okay, I think this is real now. Anyway, that was my first diagnosis. I didn't know until then. And then it was now almost as if, as soon as I got to know, I started to fall sick. Funny enough, I had experienced crisis before, but considering the fact that we didn't know my genotype, we did not know that it was crisis. I was in primary school. I had pain in my arm, in my right arm precisely, and I could not go to school for a very long time. I was in the hospital, but they were just treating me for malaria. The pain did not subside until I took a particular NSAID. It was Felvin. I think it was my mom's friend that just came and was like, if she's having pain, that she uses Felvin for body pain. And then she gave us Felvin. I used it, and it was as if Felvin just took away everything that was there. But considering the fact that even my family doctor then did not think that I was SS. So he didn't treat me as such. But then that was how it started. Yes, that was how it started.
Wow.
I can remember 13. When I wrote my WAEC, I had to go from hospital to the school to write my exam. I had serious crisis. And since then it's been on and off. But well, we thank God.
Yeah. So how often do you have crisis? And a minimum of how many times do you have serious painful crisis in a year?
In a year, serious one would be, at least for the past 5 years now, it would be probably about 2 times or 3 times in a year. Serious one. There are times that I just have this feel of pain in my leg, and considering the fact that you are aware of your health now, you take certain drugs and you're fine. Within a matter of hours, you're fine. But there are other times that you have to get to the hospital, and you have to be admitted for close to weeks sometimes. So, but basically, serious ones would be just 2 or 3 times in a year. Very serious episodes.
Okay. All right. So, at what point did you become a sickle cell advocate? What was the motivation for you to come out? Because I usually have this question because I didn't want to come out. I think I outside this recording, I think we once discussed it. Was it myself and you when I was saying that I didn't just want to come out and talk about it, like literally putting myself in the face of people and say, hey, see the girl that has sickle cell. So I'm usually passionate when I see advocate, and I'm like, okay. At what point did they get to know that they have sickle cell, and what was the passion to become a sickle cell advocate? What was it for you?
Okay, so I became a sickle cell advocate 2019. And how did it start? I was just in my room, and I think I had just woken up, and then I just picked up my phone and I began to type. Okay, maybe I think I had just come out of crisis then. So I just picked up my phone and I began to type, how do you allow your children or your child go through pains like this, especially ones that could be prevented? It just started like that. And I started to write about sickle cell disease. It was on WhatsApp status. I was just in my room pouring out my mind. It wasn't anything serious. It was just because of the pain that I had just gone through. I just felt, why would people still go ahead to birth a child into this world of pain.
Of pain.
So that was it basically. That was just how we started. And then I noticed that then I had a few people send me a DM and were like, Timmy, what was that on your status? Do you have sickle cell disease? Are you SS? Are you SS? And the likes like that. And I don't know, I didn't hold back. I didn't hesitate to answer them and say, oh yes, I live with sickle cell disease and this is what I've been going through. This is what I've been going through. But it is not about me. You know, I'm not throwing a pity party. I don't want anybody to pity me. I'm just saying this because I want people to be more aware.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that a lot of people started to chat with me and were like, oh, I am AS and my spouse is AS. We just started the relationship. But reading all this that you've posted, I don't think I can go through with this. I don't think I can. Then it dawned on me, okay, I think I'm good with actually make people change their minds about making these terrible mistakes. So then I joined a sickle cell through my cousin. My cousin just sent me the link and I joined them. Then I noticed that they were always talking about, it is a group actually where different warriors come to meet. There are lots of doctors on the groups. There are older warriors, there are young warriors, there are warrior parents, you know. And so I see how everybody bond. There's just a lot of freedom of expression. You can express what you're going through at every point in time.
So much love
and
in
so
the community.
Everything just dawned on me. I was like, okay. Exactly. Nobody's stigmatizing you, nobody's castigating you for being who you are. You can express yourself. Oh, I feel down in my spirit. I just woke up and I cannot wrap my head around the world right now. And then there's always somebody to pat you on the back and say, oh, you're more than yourselves. You're not yourselves and everything. I just loved being a part of that. And so it just started.
Yeah, wow.
Before I knew it, on Twitter, on my personal page, I was starting to say, oh, I live with sickle cell disease, this, that. And then that was how it started. That was just it for me.
Wow. So beautiful. You know, as they say, I'm currently on a book I've been writing for like a year. I just received break. And one of the points that is one of my biggest caption in the book is that our greatest vision and achievement in life is usually born out of devastating pain. You came out from a crisis and you just started writing like nobody should go through this kind of pain. I discovered that most of the things I do, the big things I launch, there are usually periods when I am in serious pain. And I'm like, no, this is not the life anybody should live. You understand? So It pushes me, it motivates me to go out there and say, no, you don't do that. You understand that kind of thing? So your crisis, your pain gave birth to that victory where you became an advocate instead of being a pity party and say, don't come and pity me here. So instead of that, you became somebody that can stand for others and say, this is what we are saying here. You shouldn't go ahead and give birth to any child to come join this kind of pain. That is so good. I really appreciate that. So GenoAware, you know, when Auntie Omolola Ogumia and they shared your contact with me, one striking thing for me when I went to check your Instagram, I was like, GenoAware. Okay, genotype, gene. Like, what was the motivation for that name? It's so unique. It's nothing like I've heard before. And I was like, okay, I was going to ask you, what was the motivation for the name GenoAware? Like
okay, so
when you were deciding on the name for the foundation. Yeah.
So we started with Fighting SCD.
Okay.
That was the name then.
Okay.
We started with Fighting SCD. But then it was just me and my phone. Back then. I just needed a name, you know, to back the whole hello. Are you AS? Is your spouse AS? Okay, don't get married. I just needed a name to back that up. But then when we took it serious and we created a group to be a support group, I had a list of names. I had different options. There were lots of ambiguous names as ideas. But then he was a very close friend. We're rubbing minds together, and then we had a list of names. And then somehow, we just came up with GenoAware. I mean, at the end of the day, it all boils down to our genes. It all boils down to being aware of your own genes, just so that you don't get to get married to someone that has sickle cell traits just like you, so that we don't get to birth sickle cell warriors. So at the end of the day, it's about being aware of your own genotype and being aware of your spouse's genotype, so that you don't give birth to someone whose genotype would be SS or SC or whatever. So let's just go with GenoAware, please.
I love it. It's so good. Thank you so much. So finally, I'm going to ask, this is more direct. They say, let's say, for example, I've had a number of things growing up. They say, I can't do so much. Oluwatimileyin, I was told I can't do so much because of sickle cell disorder. And you know that I'm not the only one that said it to. A number of growing warriors are still hearing those words now, and they are not able to fight it out. They have come to believe that they really can't do so much, and because they are born with sickle cell, they have to be relegated somewhere. They have to be pushed aside in the world, and they really can't dream because they have sickle cell. What do you have to say to me? What do you have to say to us and everyone going through one thing or the other, feeling like a victim of the world? Like having been, I believe you are the only one. Do you have any other sibling that is sickle cell in your family?
Yes, I do. Okay. My younger sister is HBSS as well.
Okay. I am the only one. So there is this feeling that can make you feel like, oh, you are a victim in the whole family, that how come you are the only one? Do you understand that kind of thing? So what advice do you give to me and to every sickle cell warrior out there that have heard one thing or the other, like you can't amount to so much, you really can't fly just because you have sickle cell disorder? Kindly advise us, please, and we wrap this up.
Okay, so I'll say this like I always say. Whoever is close to me, everybody that is close to me knows that I like to say this. If you throw me a pity party, I would not attend. I like to say that word. I would not attend. Now, I also like to say that every human being has a stress limit. We all do. Irrespective of your genotype, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your sex or whatever. We all do have a stress limit. So I think that when they say that you cannot do much, it depends on your own mindset about yourself. How do you see yourself? How do you see it? Matters a lot, and it starts from the mind. It starts from the mind. When you see yourself as a victim, it will be a very bad thing. It will be bad to correct that impression of yourself. If you cannot tell yourself, oh, I am not a victim, the fact that I'm living with sickle cell disease does not make me less of a human. I always say that I am not my cells. I am not my cells. There is more to me than sickle cell disease. I am first a human before I am a sickle cell warrior. So you cannot tell me that there's a certain thing that I cannot do. Funny enough, people know me. I like to prove to them that whatever you can do, I can do better. The only thing is I know my stress limits. I know where to go and where not to go. I know what to do and what not to do. It doesn't mean that I cannot do even what you can do better. So I think it starts from your mind. You have to believe that you're not your cells. You have to believe that you're not Abiku. You're not Ogbanje. You're not whatever. You're not defined by your cells. You have to believe that you're first a human and you have a purpose. There is a reason why God has created you before you are a sickle cell warrior. Life itself is a risk and it's not a function of your genotype. So you need to first take away that victim mentality. The moment you take away the victim mentality, then you start to be a victor. So first, it depends on how you see yourself, and then you need to study yourself. You need to know your stress limit. For instance, I know that when I'm too cold, then I'm prone to having crisis. So when it is cold, I try as much as possible to keep myself warm. how else do you take care of yourself than that? I know that I cannot get too hot, because when I'm too hot, it could lead to crisis. Then I try as much as possible not to get too hot. Every human being has a stress limit. Just know your stress limit. Know the level at which you can walk. Know your pace, and then you'll be fine. So that's all I have to say. You have to start to work on your mind. You have to start to work on your mind.
Wow, I'm totally loving this. This is so beautiful. My take home: if you throw me a fitting party, I will not attend. I so love it. I love it. I love that part so much. And I love the fact that you said it starts with the mind. I mean, that's a different opinion from everything I've heard on the podcast. It's a mindset. It's a mind thing. If you believe that you are apart from yourselves, you can fly. You can take the world. You can be the best of you. So don't let anybody throw you a pity party. I love that part. If you throw me a pity party, I'm not going to attend. So thank you so much, Olayiwola Oluwatimileyin. I'm so honored to have you.
You're welcome.
I'm really honored to have you here with
You're
me.
welcome.
So
it was a pleasure being here with you as well.
Thank you so much. So thank you. Take care of yourself and do have a wonderful time. All right.
Yes, you.
Okay. All right.